You look at the huge companies in the world, and of course now you're all aware because of this initial public offering of Facebook. Yeah, it's only a few years old. So now you've seen right before your very eyes something that started with the social network as a very small seed from an individual brain in Cambridge, Massachusetts, at Harvard University. And all of a sudden, it's one of the largest, and this guy's going to be the 29th richest person in the world. The point is that you, being a small individual entrepreneur, you have just as much chance of coming up with $1 billion innovation as anybody else. So don't sell yourself short. You can do it too. Okay? Now, what you probably can't do is you probably can't set up a lab, like IBM's Watson Research Lab or something in Research Triangle or something in even Bangalore. You probably don't have a few extra. I mean, when I was working with Reliance, Mukesh Ambani decided to put in 5 lakhs square feet of research space. Anybody here can afford 5 lakh square feet of research? I didn't think so. All right, so you can't do that. So what can you do if you can't do that kind of basic research? Well, it's an interesting thing. It doesn't matter. You can still add a whole lot of value because technological innovation is not usually where the value comes from. Now that may shock you, but it's not usually the basic science that is going to get you the value and put you on your way to being the 29th most rich person in the world. Every subsequent value addition was some modification to the basic technology. Some of it was science-based, some of it was engineering-based, but actually if you look at the board, if you look at the screen, what you'll find out, a lot of the value came from something outside of the technology. It's what we in the innovation practice call socio-technical systems. Socio-technical systems. It's not always about the technology, it's very often about the social network or social system around the technological system. So you as an entrepreneur, even if you're dealing with a technical space, such as software, such as I met somebody doing project work on large power plants in Africa and Middle East. Great, that sounds very technical. So can he innovate? Can he start a new lab to find new ways of producing electric power? Probably not. But the good news is he can still innovate for value addition around the technology by innovating in the social system. Hope I didn't use too much of your time. Hope you'll have some good questions, not speeches, for us after the session. Thank you very much.
To begin with, let me just share with you my journey as an entrepreneur. You know, I used to work for Hindustan Motors for many years, so I used to sell cars. And at that point of time, when I used to sell cars, I had the opportunity to talk to a lot of the taxi drivers, taxi owners who had single car with them. So I, at that point of time, learned a lot from each one of them as to how did they turn from a driver to an owner of a single taxi, became owners of 2 taxis, 3 taxis, 5 taxis. What worked for them, how did they manage their business, how did they manage their cash flows, how did they service their customers. At that point of time, I must say that I was more keeping this information in my system to understand as to how my customers are impacted by how we behave as the manufacturer of a car. When we started from 3 cities. We were operating in Delhi, Mumbai and Bangalore. We bought 30 cars. That was all the money that we had to get funding for about 30 cars. We had about 20 employees and we started with revenues of about 20 lakh rupees for the first few months. Over the years, and you know, this is about 11 and a half years that we have worked on this now. We today operate a total fleet of 6,500 cars. We operate in 13 cities. We operate 38 units. We operate in city center locations. We operate in hotel locations. We operate at airports. We operate self-drive. We operate chauffeur drive. We operate radio taxi services. We operate limo services. We operate operating lease services. Last year, we were doing about 18,000 trips per day. 6 million travelers moved in our cars every year. That is what we did. We now have about 700 employees, and we do a revenue of about 25 crores a month. Entrepreneurs and this group sitting here, I'm told, is all either entrepreneurs or who are wanting to be entrepreneurs. It will be very important for everybody to understand that that innovation is critical. It is critical every day. Understanding future trends is very critical, and figuring out how to continue to grow, keeping those trends in mind, is something that would be very important. Thank you.
When we started Unicorn in 2005, I was 35 that point in time. As Rajiv was sharing, with right blend of your professional experience behind you, at the same time you are young enough also to maybe take a few challenges more. But the bigger worry that I always had was that you could be a great professional, but a disastrous entrepreneur. So that was one fear that obviously always lingered on me. And one more thing was, which could be emotional baggage, that what if I fail? So when you go on an entrepreneurial journey, I would suggest all of you to burn your bridges. Just have this thing in mind that you cannot go back. Because if you exercise this option of going back, then you will not be able to give your best to your entrepreneurial venture. So in a way, it could be a bold statement, but for the person who is really charged up to be an entrepreneur, he has to succeed come whatever may. You could start small, you could maybe keep shifting your sizes, you could become big and then again become small and so on, and have ego on your kick. If you have small ego, I don't think you should try to be an entrepreneur. So these are 2 or 3 major things that I would want you to know from my personal experience, though obviously I'll be still open to answering all your questions as and when we get opportunity on that. But quickly, let me run through how the company has delivered over last. This is a small brief about our company. It's a financial services company. Obviously, financial services business is one business, though a lot of technology have been coming in, but it's still a people-driven business. Because anybody, even you and me also when invest, we have some financial advisor advising us, be it on the broking side, be it on the insurance distribution side, be it on the property broking side, which is the third business that this company is into. So essentially, you have to keep investing in the skill set of your people so that they become more and more efficient, and we get more money on each of the money that we spend on the salary of these people. So majority of the money that our company spends is on the salary account. It could be a topic of debate whether is it worth it carrying so many people at the same time. But that's what the business is. And at the moment, where our economy stands and where our technology adoption is concerned, as far as retail investor is concerned, I think it will be still a while ago when you can actually do everything on the technology. And though I've seen your generation or the coming generation is comfortable parting money on the internet, but people who actually are having money, at least the people who are into the age group of 30 and 50 and 60, they are still comfortable talking to an individual rather than doing bigger transactions on the net. With this concluding remark, I would want to thank you for giving me a patient hearing.
Naturals is started by my wife Veena way back in 2000, and both our children have started going to the school. And here she is having some time with her, and she wanted to get self-employed. The opportunity in front of her is to remain at home and be a housewife and glorify herself as a homemaker, or find a job, or the next choice is to get self-employed. She chose the third, and that's how I also joined her few years later in her business. One of the important point in any entrepreneur's life is to identify a simple need. Irritation is the biggest source of energy If you are irritated about something, you have got a problem on hand and you have got also a business on hand. We were irritated about the housewife concept, and we wanted to ensure or try our best to, it's a very Indian concept, and we want to try our best to ensure that the housewife term is removed from the Indian context. That is one of the irritation. And the second irritation for us is there are beauty salons, high quality beauty salons only available in 5-star hotels, which is unaffordable by the masses. And on the low end of the spectrum, you have got neighborhood barber shop or the beauty parlors. The quality and the hygiene standards are questionable. This is another issue which irritated us. We put these two together and form a beauty salon way back in 2000. But it is not an easy business. First year we made a turnover of 20 lakh, we made a loss of 15 lakh. Second year we made a business of 30 lakh, we made a loss of 10 lakh. Third year we made a business of 50 lakh and we made a loss of 5 lakh. That is the price we paid to learn this business. Beauty salon business has got its own intricacies, its own problems, its own challenges, like every business does. But what kept us forward in those early years is the passion with which we looked at the business. Skill is not the answer, neither is money. You have to have a passion, you have to have an enthusiasm, you have to have that never say die spirit, and you have to have fun while doing the business. If these 4 or 5 characters you have, you can succeed in any business. Thank you so much.